Good morning, everybody. Thanks for coming out to today's workshop meeting. Against our pledge of allegiance.
Pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
I think we want to just kick it off by saying, I'll need it this time, sorry. Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. The city is now called to order in line with the Borough of Sea Rights longstanding policy of open government and in compliance with the Open Public Meetings Act. I wish to advise that adequate notice concerning the state of meeting was sent to the Asbury Park Press and other local newspapers on January 10th, 2022. In addition, since the date, time, and location of this meeting were provided in notice. This meeting is open to the public. Roll call. Councilmember Bieber. Here. Virgil.
Here.
Booker.
Here.
Catalano. Here. Keeler.
Present.
Lonnie. Here. And Mayor Dawes here. Just wanted to say congratulations on your election this past week. I know Sam Catalano. Congratulations on your new term here. So, Heather, who actually is, she also won the election. Congrats to her and welcome to the team this January. All right, we'll start with more remarks from the audience. Anyone like to be heard, just please state your name, your address, and the floor is yours. Would anybody in person or online hear? Is there anybody? No call. All right, seeing no one, we'll move on. And also, so online we have our CFO Mike Basco and BA Joe Brewer. Morning, Jeff. I will begin also always with the capital projects update, and that will be our BA Joe Brewer.
Thank you, Mayor. A couple of updates. The downtown check-out project is yet to begin. The contractor is ready, but I believe he's waiting on some stainless steel straps that are back ordered, and as soon as they come in, he's ready to get going to do the check-out downtown. Had a meeting with Greg Lush, our engineer, along with Dave Barley last week. We revisited the check valves that the DOT are responsible to put in. Greg is making another plea to the DOT to try to modify their program to just reline a portion of the one that's giving us a problem and then build new from that point to the river. And I know that Councilman Birdsall contacted or spoke to Congressman Colon at the 10-year anniversary. We have his staff ready to call the commissioner of DOT if necessary, and I'm hopeful that Greg can be in contact with his DOT counterparts and get that done this year, or at least early spring of next year. We reinitiated conversations with Rumson to talk about the replacement of portions of the force main along Ocean Avenue. Several years ago, Rumson did several hundred feet on Ocean Avenue. It's our responsibility to take over and do the next phase. So we're proceeding with the analysis of that project, as well as Greg meeting with JCP&L about the River Street transfer station to find out exactly where the lines cross our property on River, so that we can make plans for next year to start a public works building project there or somewhere else. Because as we all know, once the haven begins, we lose all of our storage that we've been renting for these years from that developer for our public works equipment, dumpsters, quads, all those things that we store in those facilities. So those are some of the capital projects we're working on right now. We continue to look towards the bulkhead project. Greg and I talked a little bit about it at our meeting, about the problems associated with those bulkheads that are in good shape. We have to get our arms around that are in the downtown area that could be problematic for the project overall. So Councilman Bieber has been working on that with myself, and Roger will be involved, and Greg is also involved in that project as well. That's all I have.
All right, Joe, thanks. Anybody have any questions on Greg?
I just have one update, Mayor. After meeting with Joe, I actually ended up getting hold of the DOT, engineering department. And what they've come back with on the big problem we had was the homeowners were not in agreement with the easements they wanted to put around these pipes. Because DOT wants to replace the pipes, and I had suggested lining the pipes. And my conversation with them that I had on Tuesday this week, they said that they're not in favor of relining the pipe because it's all corrugated metal pipe and they don't know the condition of it and can handle the pressure of putting a line in it. So they want to replace it. But one of the things they have sent me is preliminary plans to show that their easement went from, I believe it was 40 feet before, down to 14 feet. Which now I'm going to go back to the homeowners, and I think that will be acceptable to the homeowners based on my needs with that. So, because before it was enveloping around the buildings, and it was not acceptable. So I think that might be a more palatable solution to everybody. I mean, with the homeowners and DOTs on board with that, so that may be a good thing for all of us.
Thanks for researching
I
that.
thought it was 15 feet on, well, it was 15 feet on each property line?
Yes.
Oh, okay,
Yes.
yes, that's okay.
But not
Now it's down to 7 on each?
7 on each, yeah.
That's not bad.
Yeah.
I think they'll be okay with that. I think Pete will be fine with that.
Because that, most of that distance would be in the setback of any development, and I think that was the problem, right? The distance before took up development space on the
Yeah.
property to the south side.
It basically took up half the lot,
Right.
almost half the lot, not a third of the lot.
So I think this should be pretty palatable to everybody there.
Yeah, that's potentially a good, so we proceed from there.
So I'm gonna try to set up arrangements with me, with the property owners, and show them the plan, because they did send me a plan showing the easement, so they are somewhat committed to it. So I'll try to meet with the residents there and get them on board and go back to DOT, and that should kind of solidify that, get them going.
Fingers crossed.
Yeah, great. Thanks.
They come up with a change on their own.
No, we were pushing it, because we called, because even the homeowners there had written a letter saying they're in total opposition of the easement that they wanted, so that's why when they came to us, they said they were just gonna abandon putting the check valve in. And we said that wasn't acceptable to us, because we need that for flood monitor. So that's why they come back to the design table.
Okay, Greg. It is. Any other questions for Joe? All right, thanks, Joe. Thanks for your updates. All right, Chris just suggested we move up to number 6, since our CFO Mike Basson is online, and I think you only need to be here for this one, Mike. So you want to speak to the best practices survey?
Sure. Good morning, everybody. The survey is where we have the annual best practices survey distributed by the Division of Local Government Services. The core portion of the survey, there's actually 3 sections of the survey. One section is to evaluate our core competencies. The second section is to see how we comply with best practices, recommended practices. And the third section is an unscored survey, basically data collection for the state to understand how different municipalities are operating. The best practices survey is broken down into a couple sections. One section is regarding health benefits, where we scored perfectly. Another is regarding personnel management, where we scored perfectly. Budget management, we scored perfectly. Capital projects, transparency. One spot where we did not get 1 point is regarding language in our professional service contracts, where they're calling it core competency, a matter of putting an absolute cap on professional service contracts. So, for instance, attorney and engineering contracts, setting an absolute annual cap on their contracts. What we do is compliant with the local public contracts law, which is we set the hourly rate and then we direct the work. And we advertise properly, we do the RFP process, and we do the proper appointment. So this is not to say we're not compliant with anything. This is more a practice that they feel should be considered in the borough and other communities. The next section is in cybersecurity, financial administration, and there's capital projects and procurement. There's a great deal regarding shared services and cybersecurity again. The next spot where we did not score is under best practice section for the lack of a social media policy. that the borough does not have a written social media policy or an actual social policy, social media presence. So we don't score a point there. And then the other section is that in regard to electric vehicles, in that we don't have a policy to purchase electric vehicles, and we have not installed the electric vehicle charging station in a public place. That being said, that being said, the maximum score you can score is 36.5. The score you need to attain so as not to lose any financial aid is 24, and the borough scored a 34, which is an excellent score. As your CFO, I'm not recommending any action necessary to address any of the points you didn't get. Very few towns have a perfect score. I'm not aware of any that have a perfect score, but I'm sure there's somebody out there. But your score is definitely one of the top scores in the state. I'm not recommending any change. I don't think you have to change the way you contract with the professional services. I do think it would be smart to develop a social media policy. And then the electric vehicle charging stations, I think that's fully a decision, that the board and planning board to discuss, not so much something that needs to be directly addressed in the survey.
That sounds good, Mike. Yeah, I agree with you on social media, and we've discussed charging stations in the past, so we'll get there. Soon enough, we'll figure it out and have something about their municipal or something for charging stations. But thanks, Ed. The score 34 is pretty impressive, and we'll take your advice on that. Status quo. Yeah, Jeff.
Mayor, if you might go down the path of considering charging stations in the public lot, there are DEP and DEP grants to do that, so.
Mike, if, first of all, I can speak for the rest of the governing body, in appreciation for our administration and for our professionals for putting us in a position where we got such a high score. So I'll start with that. But I'm wondering whether or not we can get a copy of the report, just for our own reference and just understanding, being able to see what you've already given us verbally here.
I think they made an email to you.
Was it?
Yeah, it's in the package.
Okay.
That's all pretty quick action.
Thanks, Mike.
All right, thanks, Mike. We'll see the league next week again.
Very good, Joe, we just need you to go in the path to do the final submission. Has to be done today. All right, ready? All right, all, thank you.
All right, thanks, Mike, for dialing in. See you soon. Okay. All right, we're on for our public safety updates with our chiefs, Brett. First, please.
Good morning, everybody. Just real quick, this is not the Kevin Birdsall fan club. We do this every year for the November, raise money this year for Thomas Tower Foundation. That's what the cause we're going to do it for. So anyway, just keep going. This month, DWIs, assisted in recovering stolen vehicles, assault facility persons, a couple other police incidents that we had that I can talk about at another time. We have 460 calls for services. We have people getting ready to go to the academy next month. We're getting ready for the physicals, psychologicals. We have the normal amount of tickets that were written. I still don't have the number. We just started getting in-person court last week, Jack, a couple trials, so our court is still revving up and getting back in person again. So hopefully by the end of the year, we have a total number of what the fines we collected. And that's really what we had our normal October. Anybody got anything?
Chief, any update on our parking ordinance update that we're doing?
I actually emailed Roger during the week. He had an update from the actual Superior Court judge himself, and he's not got back to me yet to find out why our fines have not been increased.
Do we have a number on the tickets?
You know what? Last month I think it was about 21 or 2,200 tickets. I don't have the number this month, but most likely I'll do it end of the year total. It's probably going to be about 2,500 tickets or 2,600 tickets. I know we stopped at 196 more vehicle stops during the month of October. There's a lot of tickets written there, so we have a lot more coming in.
Do you know if our parking tickets have gone up or down?
Our parking tickets were about the same as 2 years ago, that COVID, so we are up in par with some of the most tickets we've ever written.
Go just check and see if our higher ticket price for parking on the side streets is worth it all. So.
Yeah.
And a lot of the tickets, it really depends on,
No deterrents.
a lot of the tickets that we do write depends on who we have there enforcing. We've had a great crew of people enforcing it, which we those numbers up higher. So we had a great crew this year.
Okay.
That also helped too. But yeah, we are up there with the most tickets we've ever written.
We raised fine, so I'm hoping that it's helping deter a little bit.
I don't think it's deterred anybody with the amount of tickets we've written. I think like,
Yeah, $150, I would help.
Well, Chief, please stay on top of getting that thing for.
100%.
Okay, because that really is another way of enforcing what we're trying to do here with the correct. Right, and what we said at the beginning with this thing is, one of two things are gonna happen. Either the illegal parking is gonna go down or the revenue is gonna go up. Right, and in this particular case, it's not like the revenue is going up. But hopefully, as word gets out there, when we get this fully implemented, it curbs the illegal parking. Thanks.
Thanks, Chief.
Chad Murphy, you're up, sir.
We don't have much going on right now. We're at 473 calls per year, which puts us again, like Brett said, on par for COVID season, 2020. It's one of the busiest years we've had. Again, I said in the past, it's just the new dynamic to see right what we're dealing with. This month, we exceeded that 2,000 hours of individual training hours for the guys, which is pretty impressive. There are other places around us that train 4 hours a month. Besides that, I don't have much going on. Everything's working. Everything's in town at the moment. Nothing's out for repairs. We had our elections last night, so we're stuck with Charlie and I for another year next year. That's not bad. I got nothing else. You guys have some. There is something. I didn't get it in time for today's agenda, but it's on for Monday's agenda. I got it to 3 or 4. I think it was 3 proposition matters for resolution for Monday. Great. And we have 3 more coming in Monday. I have about 12 applications on the desk right now. Let's slow finish process.
Chad, you probably heard it many times, and doing a great job. Right?
Yeah, we're doing
For the
okay.
Sandy event.
In the event, the same
Sandy
thing.
tonight. That's very
Yeah.
Yeah.
We're concerned about the burger on Sandy.
Yeah, this is not the fault. Yes, you did a great job.
Worked out.
Burgers are always something, I think.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Quick and half time after.
So Pat Hogan and the outsides are burned. It actually worked out pretty well.
Nice job.
Thanks, Chief. And, when it comes to emergency services, a mooring update's a good one. We like the little agendas there, so congrats. Cool. Thanks. Unrelated, there's a huge school strike back.
That's why we're looking at the fish. I saw the chief's eyes light up. I'm like, oh, what the heck?
Right in the middle of it. It's hilarious.
He just drive right in the middle of it.
I just took the last night.
You got a nice piece, did a nice one the other day, right? 2-3 days ago?
Thursday, Friday, and Monday.
Oh, wow.
All right.
You know the striper, there's a makeshift camper van in the parking lot.
All right, we're going on to our right-of-way agreement, and I know our attorney will be telling us some urge.
Yeah, sure, Mayor, absolutely. So, as I believe you know, there's been 2 entities that have approached the borough with draft agreements to use the right-of-way for 5G small cell facilities, either as to existing poles or at least as to the one that's on here, more toward building the new poles, smart poles. So in just the past few days, we have gotten comments from both this entity, Unisite, and the other entity, Verizon, about the ordinance. And they've made some substantive comments about what they think should be changed. And at this point, we're taking a look at it, and we can get both of their communications out to you to take a look at. But until we have the ordinance set and the standards set, it might be a good idea to hold off on doing a right-of-way agreement with any of these folks. So we think that at this point, hold off and get our ordinance set first.
Good. Any questions for it? Good. Thank you, that was easy. All right, on to the state agreement with the state of New Jersey for center replenishment, and everyone probably knows this is not forward-looking. I know we've had a lot of issues recently with erosion out there. This is just paying for the last center replenishment. So Joe, I know you want to speak to that one.
Well, you pretty much summed it up, Mayor, but we are still requesting the county contribute to this program. We requested it prior to the replenishment back in 19, and it was in their budget. I know Mike Bascom has been in touch with the county CFO to make sure they include it in their 2023 budget, because we really need their contribution that is typical in these programs, but they have to put it in their budget. So Mike has been leading the charge on that, but if you run into Commissioner Arnett, it wouldn't be bad to say, hey, Commissioner, please put it in your 2023 budget.
Yeah, I'll give I will call Tom and see what we can do. All right, thanks, Joe. I appreciate that. All right, we're on to our short-term rental ordinance. Of course, that is hopefully going to be working for quite a while. I think, speaking with Joe, some implementation things we have to deal with still. But aside from that, we also have a letter of support from the New Jersey Realtors in our packet. And Erwin, you want to speak to this?
Yeah, a couple things. So this coming Monday, we're looking to approve this ordinance. We introduced it at the last meeting. The timing of this is critical because there's a couple things we have to do timely. One, we got to notify the state as soon as we can because we have to get 90-day notification before municipal taxes can be collected. We obviously have to notify the owners that this is happening, so beginning in the new year, they're aware of it. They can't claim we didn't know about it when they start doing the rental. And this letter that we got from the Monmouth Ocean Regional Realtors Group asked us to make a very minor wording change to the word realtor. So we read through it, Richard took a look at it. We're going to make a change. We're proposing making the change. It's not significant, it's not substantive. We believe we can make a change and still approve the ordinance on Monday night. In the letter, in an email, the gentleman said that he would be here, right? So I don't want to have anything hang this up and delay us another month. So Chris, if we could go ahead with that minor change that they're requesting on the definition of realtor.
It's just changing the word realtor to real estate agent. Who knew that the word realtor was a trade thing for being a member of the National Association of Realtors? But it's the same thing. It's just
Semantics.
So hopefully it's so minor that we make the change, we approve it. Next Thursday, we have a meeting scheduled, a couple of us that have been involved in this, to sort of go over the administration methodology of this, because there's some things we're going to have to do to track this and make sure it gets rolled out and implemented correctly. So we're going to review that next Thursday. I'll update the council on what comes out of that, but I appreciate everybody's support. And we're moving forward, as everybody knows, it was changed to a 7-day period instead of a 3-day period, and I look forward to approval on Monday night. Thanks,
Yeah,
Eric.
progress. Yeah, I guess why we're not past Monday on that. All right, we're jumping up to number 7. We knocked out 6 already. So basically, we're just suggesting we have a special meeting, introduce the redevelopment ordinance anytime between November 28th and December 6th. That overlaps perfectly with my last year out west for business, but I can easily virtually attend. It should be quick. So any suggestions on a date? Anyone? Chris, did you discuss any potential dates on this one?
I haven't. I mean, December 6th, if you want to. I mean, that still gives us time to adopt it on December 20th. That's a Tuesday night. Or, we can do it at our regular time. Or we can do a morning session, which would be great for you from California.
Yeah. I do imagine, but yeah, 8:30 equals 5:30.
I mean, we could do a quick meeting on December 6th. Who knows? We may add some things to it.
All right, what time are you suggesting December 6th?
7 p.m. You want to do? Or do you want to do it earlier, 6 p.m.?
What day is it?
Tuesday.
Okay.
Yes. Anybody?
Any thoughts?
That's fine.
Tuesday sounds fine.
Okay.
Let's do it 6 or 7.
Do you guys?
We do 6, get it done.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay.
And if you try dialing, I'm sure it'll apply to that.
Oh, but that's for
Redevelopment.
Introduce.
Right, yeah.
It's a timing thing.
We agree at 6, 6 p.m.
6, yeah.
All right, thanks, Chris. All right.
And
Can you just
as a
send that
reminder,
email?
following Monday, there's a town hall meeting. So,
Oh, yeah, we have our next school regionalization town hall meeting Monday at 7, which was 13th? 12. Okay, well.
Can you just send out a reminder email for that?
Yes.
Please, thank you.
It's on our website.
Yeah.
I'll post that one online.
All for both of those meetings, just,
Sounds good.
I'll put it in my calendar right now.
All right, number 8 is self-explanatory. 2023 meeting dates, no surprises in there, we reviewed them. We're gonna essentially shoot for most council meetings, we Tuesdays at 7, most workshops Thursday at 8:30, aside from special one like this coming Monday, for instance, like leave or holidays. Anybody have any questions or conflicts or anything with the dates, or looks good? Looks good, okay, that's easy. Yeah, no comment. All right, 2021, 2022 municipal aid programs for road improvements.
I know about that one.
All right, Chris.
The engineer emailed me about the, because we just awarded at the last meeting, Fiore, the contract for the improvements. And because of some scheduling on Fiore's end, they wanted to know if you were okay if they did these repairs in the spring. So right now, which actually is better for the roads before the winter season, if we wait until the spring to do it.
What time in the spring are they thinking?
Well, we would
Like-
probably want to give them some guidelines, we want it done by a certain date.
Yeah, I was gonna say, we gotta get it, you know, we have to factor in nice weather, people coming to the beach.
Yeah, probably maybe hanging out what, early May.
I'd say,
It shouldn't take them too long to do it.
yeah, I'd say end of March, early April.
Yeah, whatever.
Okay, but that's okay with everybody if we wait.
Sure.
till spring.
If they're gonna do it, they bring it in.
Yeah.
Early March, April. I mean, end of March, early April, the best.
What's the scale of this project, Chris?
It's about 6 roads that they're going to repave.
None of them already checked out.
I don't think so, I think they.
Oh, that's true, yeah. Where, which streets are they? Do you know which streets? Could you just send us?
One's New Street, I know.
Oh, those streets getting done?
Oh, you want to go there right now?
I can get it done right now.
Conversation over.
No, if you could send us the list,
Okay.
just so we know which streets are getting done, and then we can factor in, so I can work with Dave. 'Cause we should be done with those check valves. Well, actually, no, the state ones.
Yeah, that's sure, we're not taking it.
Actually, to be honest, the state ones, I don't think any of the state ones actually go down any of the streets, to be honest. I think they all go through people's properties. But yeah,
They also did one.
yeah.
What's the deadline we're giving them?
I'm saying end of March, early April in there to get it done. It shouldn't take them for 6 streets all day, right?
It's really a function of the,
Yeah.
I mean, I think if you get them going in March with their concrete work, they should easily, if they don't have any weather problem with the concrete, they should easily pay it back anyway.
Yeah.
As long as the weather's not cold. It's really looking at nighttime temperatures, not too cold today, but usually April you're fine.
Okay. So we saying the end of April?
I think you should, depending on if you have a long, you know, so if we get to a winter that extends into early spring, then you can have a problem with deadline, but you can always adjust.
That's what I'm saying. If we tell them to start sometime in March, then we can adjust down out further into May if we have to, but the whole point is if we start in April, then they might push it to June.
So they probably will start.
Yeah, we don't want to do that, so, yeah.
Emphasizing the weather.
Yeah, it can take probably 6 weeks, 6 to 8 weeks, depending on weather, to get it done.
May is.
Yeah, we don't want them going past May. They gotta be done probably by the 3rd week in May, and no later than that. So whatever they can figure schedule wise.
Let's go with the earlier window, and then if we gotta push back, then we'll push it back. If we tell them it's earlier, push it back, it's easier than trying to move them up. You know?
Exactly. Yeah.
All right, thank you, Chris.
Next is pretty easy, just so we have, we're the same fellows interested in our representative, county regional board of health, what's his name? I've met him a few times, his name, Joe.
Paul Roman, I think?
Yeah, so he's interested again, we do not have an alternate, which is a pretty low lift position, but you don't have to have a medical background necessarily, but if anyone knows of, I've tried to get a few people, no takers, no make, Fisher resigned with that alternate level, so if anybody has anybody in mind?
I didn't know she resigned, but I told Chris.
Yeah.
So I'll check all that from them.
Yeah, I said, just, it's not a.
Bridget's a nurse.
Well, yeah, well, anyone, anyway, keep it in mind, anyone who's an alternate. Besides that,
Let me know what it entails, give Chris, you can send any information on what it entails. That's all.
very.
She's a nurse.
We have about 6 upcoming resolutions listed there you can read through. We on Monday's agenda, and speaking of that, Monday, everyone here knows that it's not online, but we are having our council meeting Monday night since we're leaving municipalities next week, so we're going to Monday night at 7 as opposed to Tuesday.
Mayor, if I can just speak to the first resolution.
Sure.
Mike Askin provided some context around the reasoning behind the transfer of funds, et cetera. I'll get that out to everybody. He came yesterday, just as to why this is the best practice. And he just wanted me, the finance committee, and the full council to understand the methodology behind the transfer. You know, really good information, so I'll forward it over to today's hearing.
All right, thanks, John. Here are a couple of notes, a couple of resolutions dedicated to hiring and or designating new special police officers, so that's on the agenda also. And aside from that, we don't have an executive, we will have an executive session Monday night.
I just want to ask you, hey, Jeff, does that have to do with the, that closeout of those older accounts and apartments?
Yes.
All right.
So, sorry. Like I said, I'll provide, he gave me a nice summary so that I could disseminate that, so.
Very good.
Sorry about that.
That's right. All right, so we're going to executive session. We'll have one Monday night with a few items. And again, some of us are going to be the municipalities next week. There's